Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to the next video in the SoF2 Multiplayer Unreal Edition project. As normal, this video is going to be a progress update to see where I'm at and what I've done in the past month, and so let's get straight into it. One of the things I wanted to do was to finish the options, and I pretty much have. There's a couple of things still to do. If we go to player setup, I haven't managed to apply the textures to the UE4 Mannequin. That's going to take a little while, but we'll do that next time. What I have done is finished the section where you add your player name. So in the game, you had one text box where you entered the name and you put this code in where this little character here, the up arrow, I don't know what you call that, and then a value, a single value, single character from the keyboard made the following text after that a certain colour. And it was a bit confusing the way you put that into one text box, and then these two characters, the up arrow and the number or the letter, would disappear, and the next characters would be a colour. It's a bit confusing, so I decided to make two text boxes. One is editable, where you put in the actual string of characters that define your player name, and then the text block itself where the player name is shown, and you just hit apply to apply that to apply the algorithm to that text that creates the player name. So I'll show you in the editor. I'm not going to show you the package game this time because I still got a few problems to fix there. So the default name is no longer unnamed player, it's now unreal player. Colour scheme might change. So you have this little character, and then the following character determines a colour. 1 is red, 7 is white, and there's pretty much a colour for every letter, symbol and number on the keyboard. I'll show you where I got that. I went on to, if you just type in SoF2 player name colour into Google, you get Hydrus.net, where this guy has created an image with all the different values, all the different colours and what letter they're applied by. So I just downloaded that. I hope he doesn't mind. Put it into, what is it? Temp just now. No, it's images or textures. Put it into the game, and I'm going to give that away as, all credit will be given to this guy, but I'm going to give that away as part of the game so you can see which characters to use. So that works the same way it did in the old game. So just an example. So 1 and then A was black. 0. So I just do it. That should then become, messed up at the beginning there, but that's how you do it. And that, as always, using the Rama's Victory plugin, is then written to disk, to game.ini. So it's game dev, projects, SoF2, into the code, saved, config, Windows, and it's game.ini. And where is it? So there's player name down at the bottom. It just saves that string that's put into the text box, and it's loaded into the game at start, and that string is parsed in the correct value set as your player name. So that's player name done. Few other things, we'll just take you through, in case this is your first time watching this, we'll take you through. The UE4 Mannequin will have the textures applied to it as the John Miller's model did in the previous game. I haven't done that yet, that's pretty much the only thing I have to do left for the options. The Parental Lock is set up as it is in the game, but it doesn't do anything because I'm not going to use the Parental Lock, the violence lock. I've set it up there just for completeness, but don't know what I'm going to put in there, but we'll find out just as the game progresses. Mods, same as it was in the game. Here I'm going to have a list, credit given to the mods that I've added, incorporated into the Unreal Edition project. I want to obviously make the game moddable in the same way that the original game was, so that will be here too. Plus I want to have the original look and feel that I'm doing just now available as a mod. So you basically have SoF2 Unreal Edition, which is new and improved and looks a lot better. All the sort of technology available today is implemented, but you can come into the mod section, click on the original game mod, and it will change the look and feel to be exactly what you see just now. So that's going to be an option. Back to options, all the keys are all done. Everything there works as it did before. Oh, I haven't done the mouse sensitivity. I haven't applied that to the. I forgot about that. I haven't applied that to the actual mouse. Still get to that. Graphic settings are the same as they were before. Run benchmark runs when you start the game, and it's applied. A wee progress bar will be put there. Nothing is applied until you apply changes, and then you can reset to the previous settings. All that sort of stuff. So it's all still there. Audio is as it was. Crosshairs is the standard crosshairs given in the game. All that was working the last time, but I hadn't done the brightness last time, but this time I have. So the value of the slider interpolates from 0.5 to 5. You've got a wee image there to guide you with what setting's correct, and you can hit reset to get back to 2.2, which is standard for LCD screens. Scalability settings, we did the last time, nothing new there. Again, I'm going to combine the scalability and the graphic settings into sort of basic and advanced, get rid of the stuff that no longer is relevant, and add in all the stuff that Unreal Engine offers that would be good to have today. Network, I've done mostly in the last time. Again, these are just placeholders now because I can't do network code until I've got a game running, and who uses a modem or SDN anymore, so that'll all change. I hadn't done the proxy stuff last time. I was having trouble with the editable text box. It seems that the editable text box, you can't change the colour, the code, or there's some problem with it. You can't actually change the colour of the text or the style of the text, anything. I read somewhere online that the code's just not been entered yet. It seems a bit strange, but fair enough. So I worked out how to do it. Not quite working here. So it's now an editable text box. You can stick in your proxy. That is saved the file. You can add any port you like. If it's not a number, it doesn't accept the values. And if it's above 65535, then it goes back to 65535. And if it's less than 0, it goes back to 0. So standard default port is 1080. Username is whatever, and the password is obviously a password box, and that is saved the file by the plugin, Rammer's plugin in game.ini. So that would be in network settings. There it's there. Master label SoF2UE password. Oh, it hasn't saved the password because I haven't committed the value yet. I set the right to file not on text change, but on text committed. So it should now be written. I hope. Yeah, there's the password there. That's just a bit. Oh, did I do that? Did I take that out? I don't know whether to encrypt the password for the proxy or not. I've done it as base 64 so far, which is not really encrypted, it's just kind of encoded. But I might do a wee encryption algorithm or something, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's not really that important if it's just a proxy password, but you know, there's no reason not to do it. Okay, on to CDKey. So the CDKey system that was in the original game, I didn't quite like. There's a few things I didn't like about it, so I've made a few changes. I do like a bit of cryptography, and in my CDKeys, in my serials, I don't like small letters. I prefer capitals. I'm a bit OCD like that, you know. Anyway, so I've set up the new CDKey system to convert all characters to upper. So if you enter a small character, it's automatically converted to a capital. As you can see, if you keep on typing, it automatically moves on to the next edit box. And from the last edit box, if you delete, it automatically goes back through them all, which helps. If you have an 18 character string on the clipboard, and it has to be 18 characters. I don't know if I've set this up for all text boxes, certainly set it up for the first one, but if you Control V and paste it in, it automatically pastes in characters to the correct edit box to the correct place, which saves you having to do it manually. So there's that, and also the verify button. Obviously this CDKey is invalid, so you hit verify and it knows it's invalid. If you enter a valid CDKey, or you hit generate and it generates a valid CDKey, the verify function then knows that it's valid. And you can check by changing one character, hitting verify again, and it knows it's valid. So this, I think, is a lot better and not quite as irritating as the one that was in the original game. Okay, so moving on. I think that's everything I want to show you in the game. So the only thing left to do in the options, apart from tidy up little things like the background colour of the text boxes should change there as a slider. So small things like that. Spacing as well. So small things need to be done. The only thing left to do in the options is applying the textures to the UE4 mannequin. And all I'm going to do there, as it is in the game, these are the standard ones that come with the game. They'll be applied as you clicked on them, and I'll get it to load. I don't really know how I'm going to do it with custom PK3 files. Obviously I want to load them as it was exactly the same way as it was loaded in the original game, so any custom skins and all that are included. But the folder structure that Unreal creates, I'll have to create a specific folder that will be the base folder, and it will then work the same way the old game did. So we'll see how that goes. But applying the skins to the UE4 mannequin is pretty much all I have to do for the option screens. Parental Lock mods we've seen. Create server. The placement of this stuff is there, but all I have to do, that's kind of done, that's not done, that's not done, and the start server not done. So that's not going to take too long, because I can't actually create a server until I've got a game, a map to load and that sort of thing. So the interface there won't take long, and then the join server, which I haven't started yet. I'm quite looking forward to that. That's going to be quite interesting. So that is where we're at so far. I'll show you a few things in the actual code that are quite interesting. So as I said, I couldn't get Unreal Engine to change the font colour and font style of a editable text, so I decided to create my own one. I've called this UE Editable Text EX for extended. And what you do is you create a widget and you delete the canvas panel, you add a border, and in the border you add the edit box. I'm going to do a tutorial on this, a short video tutorial explaining this later. I'm going to start doing short video tutorials alongside these videos just to explain sort of interesting things that I've done that might be useful to other people. So once you've got that created, is there anything here you have to set? I'm going to show you, you create a variable called text and you bind the actual text of the edit box to that variable. Right, and there's a couple of things here. The UE edit widget itself is set to visible and is focusable, and this is important. Visible and is focusable. The border is set to visible, and the edit box is set to not hit testable, stealth only, and that's important, and I'll explain why. Because what I wanted to do, I needed to get an edit box to have the on focused received event function, and I couldn't get it to work. It either doesn't have it. What I realised is the widget, the widget blueprint has got the on focus received. It's not the edit box itself. So by doing this, you can set up the editable text EX widget to pass the on focus received into the edit box itself, and that's what I've done. And that's why you make that visible, the border visible, but that not hit testable. So when someone clicks on this user widget, they're clicking on the widget itself, and it picks up the on focus received. Then you set the edit main in that code as visible, and then you set focus to it, and that's what I've done. So if we go into the graph, we have on text change of the edit text set the new text to the variable, and then I've created an event dispatcher in the user widget, one for on text changed, one for on text committed, and then what you do is you drag it onto the event graph and you hit call, and you apply one, you add one to on text change event and another one on text committed event. You've got the border and the edit main publicly variables. You've got a text variable that give it a default value, but it has to be instance editable. That way it's public and accessible from another board print. Is being edited was useful for me. You might not need that, but again, it's instance editable, public and available to other board prints. And I've created two colors that I would use, the dark green and the light green that I use in SoF2. So a number of functions here, on focus received, and all you actually need here, you don't need that, that's something I use in this particular game, but all you need here is set when, this is the user widget, this isn't the edit box. When the user widget, because remember it's visible and the edit box isn't, receives the on focus received, it is set focus, this code runs, you set the visibility of the edit to visible, and you set focus, and that's all you need to do, because then that's sitting in front of the user widget, and any further input is applied to the edit box and not the user widget, and that's all you need to do. One thing I realised, because I use functions a lot, if I set a function for the font colour, it applies it to the base instance of this user widget, therefore all instances, all objects of it, that font changes for them all. So I found that quite difficult, and what I realised, if you go into the game and you find one of these edit boxes, yes, I've set this up. There's the user widget itself. It's got a border of its own, because the border in the user widget is not for the background. That border is for the background, and then the parent of them both is an overlay, so you can have these two on top of each other, and you just name the overlay something unique. So overlay CDKey 1, there's overlay CDKey 2. So in the on focus received code, you then get parent, get display name of parent, and do a switch on string for the name of the parent, name of the overlay, and that's how you can differentiate between the different instances of this user widget. So for the ones that are the CDKey, you set content color opacity to white, because I want that color. But then for the ones that are the network, proxy port, server name, username, you cast the GI main where I store my information, to store this function. Is it GI main? You cast the GI main to get the reference to the main UI window, and then you run a function from the main UI window which sets the text to another color. So that's all you do. But on the on focus received, all you need is that text there. Set visibility of the edit main to visible, and set focus of it to set focus to the edit main. So then you can do this any way you like, but on text committed, basically when you put your text in the edit box and you press enter or you move to another control, this runs on text committed, and all you do is you set visibility of the edit main back to not hit testable, and that resets it all, and that's all you need to do. There's a few other things, but I wanted to do the control V of the pasting of the CDKey, the full CDKey into the CDKey text boxes, edit boxes. I use on preview key down. On key down didn't seem to work. I won't go into too much detail. It's pretty much the same process. You just on preview key down catches all keys, and you just check if it's V, and if it is V, you check is control down, and if that's true, if they're both true, you do the same thing and paste the CDKey in. And then what's this? Well, control A. I'm doing a thing with control A where you hit control A and all text in each of the text boxes is selected, but I haven't completed that yet. So I'll do a wee video explaining that a bit more, but that's pretty much that for that text box. See if there's anything else of interest. As you can see, I'm tidying up my code a wee bit. Getting it's all very colourful now. So green, it's colour coded into sections. Red is the options, green is display options, audio options. Blue is event construct and event destruct runs when this game starts and the game closes. Purple is the buttons at the bottom of the window, so everything's kind of color coded. And I was going to see if there's anything. I think that's okay just now. See if there's anything interesting. Every time I start the game, I go to Window, Developer Tools, Widget Reflector, and I change that value there to 1.1 because my eyesight's not so good, and it always helps. Oh yeah, so when you create the user widget, the UI editable text EX, and you place it into the main UI, you then have down at the bottom. So I'll show you the code that does that. You then have on text change event dispatcher. That wouldn't be there if you hadn't created the event dispatcher in the user widget, and that's how you call the function within the user widget from the main UI. And then I have a function UI editable text EX CDKey1 on text change, which is a function in the main UI but is called that dispatcher there. So that's how you link it all together, and then you have the instance there, and because the text value is public, you can access it, pass it into that function, and it all kind of works quite nicely. Tidy things up, put a few comments in, but that's about it. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you. We are definitely getting there. Everything is really done for the options, apart from tidying a few small things up. All I need to do is UE4 Mannequin. Parental Lock mods are done. Create server is not going to take long because you can't really do anything with the game. And then join server. And after that, that is the UI done. The non-in-game UI done. And then we can start creating. We'll do a local server. We'll go into the create server, we'll do a local server. And we'll have the game running on my computer as a local server. There's not going to be anyone to join. And what you can actually do, I think I can just check this. I think I did this last time. If we start the actual game, where is it? If you start the actual game, this may not work, but we'll see. Go on to create server, just randomly create some game. And then you go into this new desktop thing, what Windows has got, and you start another instance of the game. I think this works, I'm not sure. If you put graphics settings down, it should work. But this is to test network play, it's not really to test, to actually play the game. And you go into join server, and there's that, it's on local. That's the server that I just started on the other desktop. And so you can play that. Crashes or whatever, and so you can test your local server on the same computer. Yeah, there you go. Let's go! Yeah, so you can do it that way. So that's what I'll do for come the time of loading a game and starting work on a server. What I want to do with the server, the games, I want to be able to load all the existing maps. I want to have new versions, updated versions of the existing maps, of the old maps, and then I want to have completely new maps that use all the functionality of Unreal Engine. But I do want to be able to load the original maps, so I'll start with loading them. First of all, I've got code that can do that, and we'll see how we go on. So that's pretty much where we're at. Nearly finished the UI, about to start creating the local server, loading the map, and we'll move on from there. So that's everything I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see you later.